Well, I'm a father of three, and I have a wonderful wife, Rhonda, and I've been the youth and children's pastor with Kevin for the last 13 years.
Been married coming up 20 years to Tammy Miracle now. Used to be Tammy Turnbull. She and I met at Evangel Temple. You might be familiar with that place. That's where you gave your heart to the Lord, if I'm familiar. And yeah, 20 years later and 5 kids.
A few years ago, I guess probably about 3 years ago, we were at our church. It was really kind of dry, and we were really getting hungry for the Lord. Just with the incident that happened with my daughter when she was younger, we really kind of brought us into a new level with God and wanting to be more, just a different hunger that needed to be filled. And we ended up being introduced to the young adults, the Bible study.
With me, I think it was a bit unfair because God gave me a huge grace to serve my grandfather. And I served him for a while. I used to travel with him, but I just had this love. God gave me love, so it was easy to serve. But as far as just sonship in general, just learning how to come under submission, that it's not just about my calling and my election or my purpose. It's how does what I'm called to do line up with my spiritual fathers and the house and things. So I guess coming under submission and just walking that out.
This actually was my favorite question of the ones that I thought of, because it's neat. Sometimes when I think about what would Christ do, it seems way too kind of spiritual to me. It seems, even though it's true, it's also kind of difficult to try and imagine how Jesus would act today. And I find it a lot easier sometimes. I've caught myself doing it. It's like, well, what would Kevin do? Or what am I going to want to tell Kevin I did? And what that does is it kind of helps me make choices that are beyond where I am right now. And it's helping me grow. And it's helping me grow faster because I'm able to kind of borrow your knowledge, at least what I think it is.
I would say the biggest thing is that I started to care more about other people, in particular my own family, to be honest with you. When I first started down this journey, and when I first came back to the Lord and started working with you and all that, up to that point, it was all about rules, and I thought of church as rules and regulations, and I thought of God as this, this big old white guy up in the sky throwing lightning bolts when you messed up and stuff like that. And then when I started to get into the Word and get hanging around with guys like you, I started to realize that God was my dad, and that it started to realize that God cared for me as his own son, and it's been a really great journey.
Gotta stay connected. One thing that I do with you, as you know, I submit my dates that I'm going out, and I tell you that I've never, and I just want to tell the people, he's never said anything but be released. We just send you as a son of this house, and I guess because we pray about it, and we're getting the mind of the Spirit on what we're to do and where I'm to go, and like the cries, or even Hong Kong, or then the journey. I mean, you guys, the house just so totally blessed us, and and you guys sent us out to do the journey of freedom for like 6 months, and we were in the air like 40 times. But yeah, it's a great relationship that way.
Just being able to, where before when I felt frustration or something, I'd want to act in it, where instead it's like, well, I've learned that 9 times out of 10 I'm further ahead not to say anything. And now that wasn't done out of what I felt like saying. It's what I've done just out of your example, right? And hearing how highly you talk about how to treat your wife, and that's when from what I like, you hear the calling, we're to lay our lives down as Jesus did for the church, and I've learned that from you. So to be able to try to put that into my life, even though I'm far from even good at it yet, it's always on my mind, and I'm trying to do it, and it's helped me try to take myself out of the picture and look at how I should act, and then try to do it that way. Does that make sense?
The biggest challenge that I've had has been to trust. For whatever reason, the biggest thing was to get to be able to trust you, because for many years it was like you're the boss. Yeah, you're a good friend, and we always have fun together and stuff like that. But there was always something in that would keep me or keep that one wall up, until trust. And then a couple years ago, when you gave me that book by Jack Frost, and it talked about the orphan spirit and things like that. That's when it really hit me. That's when God just allowed the veil to be dropped, and I could see that the reason why I had this orphan spirit, and that's what was keeping me from what God really wanted, for my life, for my ministry, and for my relationship with you and with others. And so that's been the biggest thing, is to be able to trust, to know that people like yourself really care about me and want to see me succeed, and there's no strings attached.
Yeah, actually, a cousin of mine who she works with me, and something that's neat about it is she's almost twice my age now, and it's something that helps break the barrier because it's not anything about age or gender or anything like that, and she's just someone that she's been really hungry and asking questions about God and about the Word, and it's been really awesome being able to be a part of her life in that way.
David Larios and Dan Williams have been with me for like 16 years almost. And Dan came to me about a year ago and just like kind of formalized, said, would you be my spiritual father? And I said, absolutely, I'd love to.
Yes, I do. And I laugh because it's your son. And he came to me after the one Sonship conference that we had here with John and Ken, and he came to me and just closed the door, and he said, I just want to do whatever it is that you want me to do. And so from that time on, for the last about year, I've been working with him and some others, but it's been great working with Ryan. Is, to be honest with you, is just to see myself in that, in that position is the biggest thing, because it's a huge responsibility, and seeing that. And so what I try to do is I try to mimic my spiritual father, and try to glean from yourself and others and Ken and anybody that I can glean from, and just see how they are as spiritual fathers, and try to duplicate that, and just build that relationship with Ryan and others that I work with. And it's so far it's been good, but it's almost scary sometimes to think that God has put us in this place of responsibility, and but He's put us here for this time and this purpose, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the journey and to see where it's going to take us. And already the growth that I've seen in Ryan and myself and others, it's been exciting. So I'm looking forward to see where God is going to take this next, and where He's going to take this as a church to the next level.
Her like just talking about the Word, then she went out and she got a Bible and she started reading it all the time, and it was so awesome being able to pull answers right out of the Bible. And then next thing was her becoming really serious about coming to church here with us too, and it's really cool to be in that part, because I've seen the whole dynamic change in their whole life, like not just in their business but in their family life. With she's getting married now, her and her daughters are doing like unbelievable, and so much of it, like, it was nothing to do with me, but it was to do with the way that I've seen her change her walk and just her priorities, and it was awesome.
Staying ahead of them because they're sharp. I don't know if that would be something that would be a challenge. Just, it takes time to be a father, so you are taking time. Like I have 5 kids, and God, and once again, it's a grace thing. If I didn't have the grace to minister to these 10 leaders, and then I have other people that call me their spiritual father in different other churches and across the nations, but I don't have the one-on-one contact that I have with these every other week. So challenge is making sure that I have quality time with each one of them, and then my own children, because I'm their father, and I want to be their spiritual father as well.